dari kecil family sudah Taoist.
Tahu.
Tahu.
Oh, oke.
Okay. Dan kita kecil pasti ikut orang tua lah ya.
Ke wihara, ya.
Ke wihara and so on. My father also reads the Bible. He's critical.
Ya.
Dia suka sekali kalau ada orang gereja datang, evangelis ya datang. Come in. Dan dia debate sama dia. Sampai that poor guy don't know how to answer. He say go back and learn and talk to me.
Hai, ini gua Daniel, tetangga kamu. Di sini gua akan ngobrol dengan tetangga gua tentang perjalanan hidup mereka dari kacamata spiritual di saat mereka mengalami situasi tidak pasti dan kekhawatiran, sampai bisa kembali bangkit menjadi orang yang lebih kuat dari sebelumnya. It's gonna be very exclusive and inspiring. Welcome back bersama gue Daniel Mananta dan tetangga kita James Gui. Well guys, kalau misalnya kalian ngerasa ya cerita James Gui di sini kena banget di kalian, atau mungkin ternyata ini ada sebuah jawaban yang kalian lagi tungguin banget, coba tag ke kita. Siapa tahu bisa kita repost, dan mungkin ada quote yang kalian ngerasa keren banget, upload di IG dan tag kita juga. Alright, yang pastinya follow aja @DanielManantaNetwork dan @DanielTetanggaKamu, dan jangan lupa di tag, alright, karena ya mungkin bakal kita repost quote-quote dari James Gui di sini. Anyway, let's get back to Pak James. Rahasianya Pak James kira-kira saat itu bisa jual ke anak-anak sekolahan dan sampai sukses banget. Itu gimana?
Oke, karena saya ada role model in Daniel and Gilbert.
Oke, mereka berdua nih yang jago.
Mereka dua jago selling.
Oke.
Jago selling. Jadi saya lihat, template-nya begini, saya adapt and saya pakai dan saya adapt sesuai dengan style saya, bumbu saya.
What was their secret, you think?
They were very structured in the explanation.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean now if we look back, baru kita lihat template-nya ya. Why this is important. What's the consequence to you if you don't know, you are not computer literate. So ada gain dan pain-nya, right? And baru based on that, baru this is the solution. Join our cause. This is what the cause is like. Alright. So do you like it? Do you want to join? How many of you want to join? Okay. So here, okay. How many of you? 3 of you. So this one class 30, 40 people, right? How many of you want to join? Join. Okay. 20, 30. Okay. All of you want to join? Now, let me tell you, when you want to join, you go home, your parents will not allow. Anticipate objection.
Wow.
Nanti you bilang, Pak, Ma, tadi ada orang datang ke sekolah tawarin kursus, I want to join. Parents will say, you are too young. When daddy mommy says too young, how are you going to say? Don't argue with daddy and mommy, okay?
Wow.
So you tell them that I understand, that you are worried I'm too young, I cannot understand, But according to the uncles, they have students who are even younger. And they can make it. And it's good to start something from young. Because when I grow older, I have so much homework to do, I have no time to learn.
Wow.
Right? And the younger I am, the more I can absorb. So actually young is to my advantage. You teach them how to handle objections politely. Then your daddy and mommy will say, where is it? Orchard Road. Oh, you live in Toa Payoh, go to Orchard Road so far.
Yeah.
Right? Dangerous.
Yeah.
That I understand you are worried. Don't worry, I won't go alone. After class, 15 of us will go together. After that, we will go home. Okay? We will not hang around Orchard Road. We will go straight home. Okay, Dad? If you want to, first few lessons, you can come and see where it is. You can talk to the uncles there also. We help them to overcome objections.
Gila. Sampai dipikirin segitunya.
Sampai segitu. Nanti kalau daddy, mommy bilang, wah, so expensive. Alright? You have to tell them that this is an investment.
Ada kecil ngomong ke bapaknya. That is an investment.
It's an investment, right? I mean, you pay for my tuition fees.
Right.
Guru les aja berapa ini, English, Mandarin, and so on. Anggap aja ini salah satu les lagi lah.
Ya.
Kan?
Wow.
So going through it, okay, and we succeeded. And then we got them to fill in the forms. Okay, bukan pendaftaran, tetapi response form. Do you enjoy it? Do you find it beneficial? And all that. We compile it and we give to the school. Look, 85% said they like it. Okay, so justified, yeah. Okay, and then ada nomor telepon. Kita telepon at night one by one. Then
wow,
one by one kita telepon. So after the presentation sampai jam 5 sore kita balik makan dinner. Duduk di sana telepon sampai jam 9 malam.
Wow.
While it's hot.
Yeah.
Alcoholics Odd. Jadi Monday to Friday demo, Monday to Friday night calling.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, you see all of them coming with their parents registering.
Wow.
Sampai keteteran.
Wow.
Gila template-nya.
Ya. Dan template itu works banget sih. Works banget ya.
Tapi really hard work loh.
Dan tapi kenapa sampai bisa populer banget? Sampai anak-anak sekolahnya, bye James, bye Daniel, kayak gitu. Was it the jokes? Was it the...
Yes.
Yeah,
it was the jokes,
Atau free candies, enggak lah.
No free candies, it was the jokes. Okay, for example, let's say, what's your name? Tony. Tony wants to write a love letter to who? Susan. Yeah, okay, serious, Tony and Susan. Yeah, okay, dear Susan, how are you? Gitu ya.
Right.
And Tony makes a mistake. Now, if you use a typewriter, gimana caranya? You harus hapus kan?
Yeah.
Suratnya jadi jelek kan?
Yeah.
Nah, ini with the word processor kan you bisa delete. After you read, I think I want to add one paragraph. Kalau you pakai tulisan, you have to rewrite loh. Ini you can easily insert one paragraph. See, this is how you do it. Or maybe you say the flow is not nice, we move the paragraph here. See, it's so nice. So
right.
Now, let me print. Okay, Tony, give the letter to Susan.
Satu kelas langsung heboh semua. Okay.
Gitu, it's very engaging, very interactive.
Yeah.
Nah, itu kita create.
Wow.
So we don't say work processes are boring kan.
Right. Pak James, akhirnya because of that, you got the number 2 biggest computer school di Singapura.
Iya.
So then what happened? Kalau misalnya udah kayak gitu sih, saya jadi Pak James ya udah nikmatin aja ya. Maksudnya ngapain harus ke Indonesia gitu?
Okay. Kami juga nggak tahu sih, jujur kami juga nggak tahu. Suatu hari ada orang Jakarta datang ke training center kami lihat-lihat. Yang handle dan entertainnya adalah Daniel.
Okay.
Ya, ngobrol-ngobrol. Setelah dia sudah pulang, Daniel bilang they have a computer shop.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have the software house in Jakarta. Jadi dia looking to complete it supaya ada training center. So dia lihat beberapa training center, dia cocok dengan style kat kita, ngobrol-ngobrol, ada kemungkinan lah. Yeah, so kita juga nggak tahu. So okay, so what next gitu loh. Yeah, we've never done this, right? Daniel went to ask his friend. Friend bilang franchise aja. And then Daniel came back and said, his friend said franchise. And then kita semua bilang, what is franchise? Itu tahun 1997 ya.
Oh my goodness.
We started in 1985. Right? So 87, somebody said franchise. What's franchise?
Gak ada yang ngerti konsep franchise gitu. Iya sih.
Pontang-panting beli buku, baca franchise. Ikut seminar franchise. Dari buku itu. Those days kan masih belum ada Google. Ya kan? Beli buku, ya suruh di bagian finance. Bikinlah franchise proposal.
Wow.
So they put together a franchise proposal.
Okay.
And that was the first time in my life I saw a professional proposal. Gak pernah proposal gitu impressive. Ada executive summary lah, ada inilah itulah. Oh, that's how they do a proposal. Okay.
Wow.
So they offered a proposal, and surprisingly, yang di Jakarta itu accepted. Okay, so we signed the franchise. Dari 3 director itu siapa mau datang? Handhold the franchisee kan. So I said, I go lah. I go karena saya bisa bahasa Melayu kan ya. So I said I go. Okay, and I came, and the rest is history, I guess. Well,
the rest is not history yet, karena saat itu kan bisa bolak-balik Singapura. Tapi kenapa akhirnya decide to stay in Indonesia?
Decided to stay because of various reasons. Tapi one of the reasons saya lihat di Indonesia ini was developing, and I could see history repeating itself. What I did not have the chance to do in Singapore, is unfolding in front of me. See, so I could get my experience from Singapore, and then history repeats itself, kan? So it's like traveling back in time with the knowledge of the future, gitu loh.
Wow, yeah.
So I had that advantage. Dan at that time, there was a gap. Jadi James Gui from Singapore, langsung it sells. So I use that James Gui from Singapore itu hampir 10-12 tahun loh.
Wow.
Until the James Gui brand itself sudah accepted, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it was James Gui from Singapore, James Gui from Singapore, dan it helped to open doors lah.
Ya, betul. So James Gui from Singapore akhirnya menetap di Indonesia dan menikah dan akhirnya punya anak juga di Indonesia. Menakutkan gak sih untuk pindah ke Indonesia saat itu?
Waktu pindah tidak menakutkan, okay? Tapi waktu di crossroads, to continue and build this bigger, therefore I have to more or less permanently leave Singapore and really kembangkan di sini, atau abandon this good potential and go back to Singapore just because my family and my roots are there. My family as in my brothers, sisters, my family and my roots are there. But then leave this opportunity. Nah itu yang sulit banget. Itu yang sulit banget tuh. Dan waktu itu kan kita belum tahu dong that I'm gonna be like what I am today kan. Kita belum tahu kan. Ya, tapi you could see the future lah. It's quite promising dan juga Indonesia is a very pleasant place to be. Yeah, it's a very pleasant place. Orangnya especially, very pleasant and so on. Jadi to stay and go all out and make it work here. Tapi probably I have to lose my roots there lah. Karena sini abis kerja nggak ada teman SD, SMP, SMA to sit down for a drink loh. Nggak ada loh.
You were all alone.
I'm all alone with only newly acquainted people kan. Yes. Jadi and whatever my friends do when they get together and all that, kadang-kadang saya nggak bisa ikut mereka kan. So berat banget. And those days Singapore kan sudah banyak konsert tuh, Michael Jackson lah, Simon and Garfunkel lah. Nggak bisa balik karena tiket pesawat mahal. So I miss Eric Clapton, I miss Michael Jackson, I miss all of those.
Dan mereka nggak ke Indonesia semua.
Waktu itu mereka nggak ke Indonesia kan. Jadi banyak yang saya miss, banyak banget yang saya miss as a consequence of staying here. Itu berat banget. Itu berat banget.
Tapi interestingly kemarin itu saya baru aja dengerin sebuah podcast juga, dan dia bilang salah satu kunci untuk menuju sukses adalah pertama cancel the friends yang menurut lo tidak membangun, gitu kan, dan yang kedua leave your village, tinggalkan kampung halaman lo, dan lo mungkin bisa berjuang di sebuah tempat yang baru. Nanti kalau misalnya lo udah sukses, balik lagi ke kampung halaman lo aja, nggak apa-apa gitu. Tapi leave your comfort zone in a way.
Betul.
Dia bilang kayak gitu. Would you recommend that? Like sekarang ini looking back setelah balik ke Indonesia dan lain-lain. Kalau misalnya James Gui saat itu lagi ada di crossroad itu, atau siapapun ya, mungkin entrepreneur sekarang ini yang lagi mikir gitu, ada opportunity di luar Indonesia tapi dia harus ninggalin bapak ibunya, dia harus ninggalin saudaranya. Would you recommend that in order to achieve success?
If you see there is potential there, but you look back is narrower, then go. Then go, karena you have to live a life of no regrets kan. Cobalah 5 tahun. Kalau berhasil syukur, nggak berhasil ya udah go back. Ya kan. Jadi dan juga my consideration is this, tinggalkan kampung halamannya to go there. Biasanya orang tinggalkan kampung halaman yang lebih backward untuk pergi ke kota yang lebih maju kan.
Betul.
Nah sekarang saya reverse loh. Coming from Singapore at that time
yang developed country at that time
to Indonesia yang still developing at that time.
Betul.
Ini benar atau reverse nih? Gitu loh. Nah jadi in reality then, walaupun sekarang I'm doing very well, tapi if you convert my rupiah to Singapore dollars, gue masih miskin loh.
Well.
Betul kan? Okay. Tapi sudahlah. But so what was the decision? I think follow your heart. Follow your heart. Of course we prayed and so on. Nah, going back to my Christian upbringing, dari kecil family sudah Taoist.
Tahu.
Tahu.
Oh,
Tahu.
okay.
Sembah dewa, Tian Kong and all that. Ya.
Right.
Dan kita kecil pasti ikut orang tua lah ya.
Ke wihara,
ke
ya.
wihara and so on. Tapi my parents and my brothers semua di Christian school.
Okay.
Okay, jadi Presbyterian.
Okay.
Presbyterian Boys School. Jadi dari kecil sudah exposed to puji-pujian, Alkitab, chapel on Friday, you know. So my father never opposed. My father also reads the Bible.
Oh, wow.
But he's critical, atheist.
Yeah.
You can debate with him.
Yeah.
Dia suka sekali kalau ada orang gereja datang, evangelist ya datang, come in. Dan dia debate sama dia sampai that poor guy don't know how to answer. He say go back and learn and talk to me. Gitu. Dia suka bully mereka. Kasian loh, kasian. Dia suka, kan sudah retire nggak ada kerjaan kan, ya kerjain orang gitu.
Kerjain orang gitu. Ya.
Jadi
pakai agama, kerjain orang pakai agama. Ya, di penjara kalau di sini.
Jadi lucunya semua saudara saya Christian school.
Right.
Tapi nggak ada yang baptized.
Okay.
Okay, nggak ada yang accepted Christ. Okay.
Right.
Saya dari kecil kan sudah chapel service, puji-pujian, doa dan sebagainya. And I remember waktu SMP kelas 2 lah. Ya, who wants to accept Christ into their life? You know, I accepted Christ.
Oh.
Okay, in church accepted Christ. Ya. Okay. So since then, walaupun belum baptized, saya udah rasa, okay, Holy Spirit is in me. Okay, ya walaupun after sekolah saya sudah miss hari Minggu, saya nggak ke gereja lagi. Ya, tapi I've always felt I've accepted Christ, Holy Spirit is in me.
Wow.
Okay, kemanapun saya pergi aman lah. So saya selalu rasa, okay, don't worry. Saya nggak extremely religious, bahkan hari Minggu aja nggak ke gereja at that time ya. Tapi I've always felt this closeness with God. Jadi jalannya selalu go, and ternyata looking back, hidup saya by all accounts mulus banget sih, mulus banget, nggak ada sampai yang hancur-hancuran, ya ada titik baliknya. Enggak lah, ups and downs biasa pasti ada. Tapi I've never felt that, why am I suffering? God, why do you allow this to happen in my life? Kenapa gue jadi susah banget gitu ya. Puji Tuhan gak terjadi sih. 2-3 tahun handholdingnya sudah selesai kan. Saya balikin ownership saya loh, shareholder saya ke Microskill Singapore.
Wow.
Gak ambil satu perak pun.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, because it was my decision to abandon them. Jadi udahlah. Lanjut di sini, start from zero lagi, ya, as a freelance, nggak ada penghasilan dan sebagainya, mau isi bensin, dompetnya 25.000 dong.
What?
Ya, dompetnya, that's all I had.